Sometimes destiny hides in places we least expect. Inside a small, quiet village behind an old clay house, in the hands of a girl who had nothing but a good heart. This is the story of how a billionaire found love and humility, how a village girl shocked the world, and how a mother's wisdom preserved an empire. The early morning sun rose over Chibuke village, spilling its golden light across the red earth roads and the thatched roofs that dotted the quiet landscape. Birds chirped from the tall ogbono trees, and the distant sound of women pounding cocoyam echoed softly like a heartbeat. In the middle of this humble village stood a small mud house with a faded blue door. And from that door stepped Amaka, a 22-year-old girl whose beauty did not shout, it glowed. She wasn't the kind of beauty you noticed because of loud makeup or expensive dresses. She was the kind you noticed because of the peace she carried. Her skin glistened like polished bronze. Her eyes were round and bright like clear water. Her smile was gentle, almost shy, but warm enough to melt the coldest heart. Every morning she tied her wrapper, carried her plastic bucket, and walked to the stream, humming softly as she went. The women at the marketplace often said, "If goodness had a face, it would look like Amaka." But goodness does not feed the stomach, and beauty does not build a future. So Amaka lived simply, fetching water, helping neighbors, doing petty jobs just to survive. Yet she complained about nothing. Across a narrow footpath lived Mama Ozioma, an elderly widow known for her sharp tongue and long memory. Her husband had died long ago, leaving her with only one son, Chibuke, whom she rarely saw because he lived in Lagos. Age had bent her back. Sickness had weakened her bones. The loneliness in her house echoed louder each year. Amaka began helping her after noticing the old woman struggling one morning to lift a pot of water. "Mama, let me help you." That simple act was the beginning of a bond stronger than blood. Every morning Amaka fetched water for her. Every afternoon she cooked her meals, mostly okra soup or corn porridge. Every evening she massaged Mama's tired legs with shea butter. Sometimes Mama would grumble, "Amaka, go home. You have your own life." Amaka would laugh lightly and say, "Mama, you are my life too." It had been months since any hired caretaker came from the city. The money Mama's son sent never reached her, and she was too proud to complain. But God saw her, and he sent Amaka. On one particular morning, the air smelled of fresh dew and burning firewood. Amaka arrived at Mama's house with a woven basket on her head. "Mama, good morning," she called out. The old woman's voice rose from inside. "My daughter, I smell fresh vegetables. Is that for me?" "Yes, Mama. I brought ugu, pepper, and tomatoes. Today you will eat like someone who has a governor for a son." "Hi." Mama laughed, coughing a bit. "If only that my son would come home, maybe I will even eat like someone who has a billionaire for a son." Amaka chuckled, stirring the pot on the local clay stove. "Mama, whether billionaire or bus conductor, child not child. You are blessed." Mama said, watching her. "If only you were my son's age mate, I would have forced him to marry you." Amaka gasped and blushed. "Mama, stop that thing." "I will not stop. A good girl is rare. You are light, Amaka. You carry light everywhere." Amaka's laugh filled the compound like music. Despite her beauty and warm personality, Amaka lived in poverty. Her parents had died when she was 16. She dropped out of school in SS1 because she couldn't afford fees. Most girls her age chased men for money. Others left the village for Lagos, seeking better life. But Amaka stayed. Not because she lacked ambition, she had dreams, huge ones, but because she believed in timing. For now, her joy was helping people, especially Mama. People gossiped that she was wasting her life. Some mocked her as village girl with big eyes. Some told her she would die poor. Amaka ignored them all. Each day, after caring for Mama, she would sit outside and sketch patterns on old newspapers with charcoal, strange designs, business diagrams, ideas she never showed anyone. She didn't know she was brilliant. She didn't know she had a rare mind. She only knew she loved helping people. The day everything changed. One hot afternoon, as Amaka washed Mama's clothes under the mango tree, the sound of loud rumbling filled the air. It wasn't thunder. It wasn't a vehicle. It wasn't something the villagers had heard before. Children screamed in excitement. "Aeroplane. Aeroplane is landing." Amaka looked up, confused. Aeroplane for village?" "Yes." A sleek black helicopter descended on the empty football field, sending dust swirling everywhere. Mama staggered to the door with her walking stick. "Amaka. He's here." "Oh, my son." Amaka froze. She had heard stories of the mysterious son. Rumors said he was wealthy. Some said he was in politics. Others said he lived abroad. But nobody expected this. Amaka wiped her hands on her wrapper and helped Mama inside, unaware that in a few minutes, her life would change forever. The helicopter blades slowed to a halt, sending the last swirl of dust across the village field. Children crowded around it like bees around a pot of honey. Women whispered from doorways. Men stood with folded arms, pretending not to be impressed, even though shock stretched across their faces. Nobody in Chibuke had ever seen a helicopter land here. Until now. And stepping out of it was Chibuke Ozioma. He was tall, well-built, and strikingly handsome, the kind of man whose presence felt like a command. He wore a clean white kaftan that contrasted beautifully with his rich brown skin. A gold wristwatch glimmered on his wrist, subtle but clearly expensive. He took a deep breath of village air, his chest rising slowly. "Smells like home," he muttered to himself. Two men in dark suits followed him, carrying small bags, but at his signal, they stayed back. He wanted to walk into the village alone. It had been years since he last visited. The guilt of staying away pressed heavily on his chest. He thought he was protecting his mother from painful memories, but now he wondered whether his absence had caused her deeper loneliness. People whispered, "Is he a governor?" "No, I heard he is one big billionaire from Lagos." "Ah, Mama Ozioma's son has made it. Oh, chai, money is good." Chibuke ignored the murmurs. His heart raced as he approached the familiar compound, the place that shaped his childhood, the place that held his mother's love. As he entered the compound, he froze. There, kneeling beside a basin under the mango tree, washing clothes with soapy water dripping down her arms, was Amaka. The sun hit her skin, giving it a warm glow. Her natural hair was tied into a puff, her wrapper knotted firmly at her waist. Sweat glistened on her forehead, but she still looked calm, gentle, breathtaking. He stopped walking. His breath caught. Something inside him shifted, an unexpected tug, an emotion he didn't have a name for yet. And then he heard his mother's voice inside the house. "My son." Mama Ozioma was already struggling to stand. Amaka rushed in to help her. "Mama, easy, let me support you." She placed Mama's arm around her shoulder, guiding her slowly toward the doorway. When they stepped out, that was when their eyes met, Chibuke's and Amaka's. Time paused. The wind seemed to still. The world went silent. Chibuke's heart thumped once, twice, harder. Her eyes, soft, clear, brown, held his with innocent curiosity. She quickly looked down, bowing respectfully. "Good afternoon, sir," she said gently. Her voice was a melody. Calm, warm, humble. Chibuke forced himself to breathe. "Good afternoon," he replied, but his voice sounded different, lower, almost shaky. Mama chuckled weakly, noticing his expression. "Chibuke, meet Amaka, the angel God sent to help me." Amaka flushed. "Mama, don't say that." "I will say it. If not for you, I don't know what would have happened to me." Chibuke's chest tightened. "Angel?" His mother never praised anyone lightly. He looked at Amaka again, quietly observing. Her simplicity, her humility, her quiet confidence in the way she held Mama, her kindness radiating like sunlight. And something bloomed in his chest, a feeling he had spent years avoiding. Inside the house. He entered the sitting room, noticing immediately how much it had changed. Dust coated the furniture. The curtains were worn. His mother's favorite wooden chair had scratches. He felt a wave of guilt. "Mama, why didn't you tell me the caretakers stopped coming?" Mama sniffed. "They told you they were coming. I didn't want to bother you." Chibuke clenched his jaw. "I paid them plenty money. They didn't show up?" "No," Mama replied, shrugging. "Only Amaka showed up." The old woman pointed at her with pride. "This girl cooks for me, washes for me, sweeps for me, talks to me. Everything. And she never asked for one kobo." Chibuke slowly turned to Amaka. She looked embarrassed, unsure what to say. "I just wanted Mama to be comfortable," she whispered. He stared at her for a long moment, feeling something stir, respect first, then admiration, and then something deeper. "Thank you," he said quietly. Amaka's heart fluttered. His voice carried sincerity she didn't expect. "You've done more for my mother than people I paid." She swallowed, suddenly shy. "It's nothing, sir." Mama laughed. "It is something. Chibuke, food is on the fire. Amaka cooked. Oh, you will lick plate today." Amaka's eyes widened. "Mama, don't say that in front of him." Chibuke smiled, an honest, warm smile she wasn't prepared for. "I would love to eat her food," he said softly. Amaka shyly rushed to the backyard to dish the meal. Paused heartbeats. As soon as she left, Mama looked at her son with sharp old eyes. "I know that look." "What look?" he asked quickly. Mama raised an eyebrow. That look of man whose heart has jumped. Chibuke cleared his throat. I just met her. Calm down. Mama folded her arms. Your eyes have already gone far. Chibuke turned away, pretending to admire the window. But Mama knew. The heart of a mother always knows. A connection begins. When Amaka returned, carrying the steaming pot of okra soup and pounded yam, Chibuke watched her closely, too closely. Her movements were gentle. Her hands steady. Her smile small but genuine. She served Mama first, then hesitated before serving him. You don't have to kneel, he said softly when she tried to kneel while handing him the plate. She froze, surprised. Most wealthy men demanded respect. This one didn't. A seat is fine, he added. She slowly sat beside Mama, and he felt his chest warm at the sight. The first spoon of food shocked him. He blinked. Mama, she cooked this? I told you, Mama said proudly. She can cook more than all those Lagos girls. Chibuke swallowed again. It wasn't just delicious. It tasted like home. He looked at her and said, This is the best okra I've eaten in years. Amaka could barely breathe. Thank you, sir. Their eyes met again. This time, neither looked away. Chibuke remained in the village longer than he intended. He told his staff in Lagos, I need a week. Some family matters. But the truth was something he didn't want to admit. He didn't want to leave Amaka's presence. Every morning, he found himself waking up earlier just to sit outside and pretend he was enjoying the village sunrise, when in reality he was waiting to see her walk into the compound with her humming and her basket. And every time she called, Mama, good morning, oh, his heart responded before his mouth did. One afternoon, he found himself standing in the kitchen doorway watching her cook. She didn't know he was there. She stirred the pot of fresh egusi soup, her wrist moving in a steady rhythm. Her wrapper swayed softly against her legs. She looked peaceful, effortless, beautiful in a way he couldn't categorize. He found himself smiling. Then he caught himself. Immediately he stepped back, inhaling sharply. What am I doing? He whispered. He had a fiancée in Lagos. A wealthy one. Important one. A political business merger type of fiancée. Adana Umezia-like. Her father owned companies that could swallow his own. Their parents had arranged their engagement for 2 years. Their wedding was the talk of high society. It would be the union of two empires. Adana was everything a billionaire should want. Educated abroad. Is sharp in designer suits. Confident, powerful, and high class. A daughter of a mogul with strong political influence. Fluent in boardroom language and elite circles. Meanwhile, Amaka was a village girl. With no degree, no wealth, no exposure, no social standing. The difference felt like heaven and earth. Yet his heart kept drifting toward her. That evening, Chibuke sat outside beneath a mango tree, hands clasped, staring into the distance. Mama Ozioma shuffled out with her walking stick. Why is your face like someone that swallowed pepper? She asked. He exhaled. Mama, I'm confused. Mama chuckled dryly. Were you not the one boasting that you have degree in business? You cannot solve small confusion? Mama, it's not business. Ian? Is it love? Chibuke stiffened. Mama's eyes narrowed. Talk to me, my son. He rubbed his forehead. I am beginning to feel something for Amaka. Mama smiled knowingly as she sat slowly beside him. Is that why your eyes follow her like mosquito following light bulb? Mama. He groaned. She laughed. But you have fiancé in Lagos, she added, her tone softening. His chest tightened painfully. Yes. And it is not love between you two, Mama said, not as a question but a fact. He didn't answer. She continued. That girl, Adana. She is for your office, not your home. Chibuke looked away. I shouldn't feel this way for Amaka. But you do. He swallowed hard. She doesn't belong in my world. Mama clicked her tongue. Your world? My friend, shut up. Chibuke blinked. That empire you are bragging with. Who built it? You are God. He looked at her. Mama tapped her chest with trembling fingers. If God wants to bless you with peace, will you reject it because it comes wearing wrapper instead of designer gown? His throat tightened. Mama, the board, investors, the media, Adana's parents, they will all come for me. And I? Mama asked. Am I not also something? He stared at her. Mama reached and held his hand. My son, listen well. There are 2 types of women. The one that keeps your office in order, and the one that keeps your life in order. Amaka's gentle laughter drifted from inside the house. Chibuke froze again, heart racing. She is the second type, Mama whispered. He closed his eyes. But mama, look at her background. Education. Exposure. Can she handle the pressure? Mama cut him sharply. Who told you your wife must run your boardroom? You have directors and managers for that. You need a woman that will run you. Silence. Deep, heavy, honest silence. Later that evening, Amaka stepped out with a small lantern. Seeing him sitting alone, she hesitated. Sir, are you okay? Her voice washed over him like cool water. He nodded, though he was anything but okay. Please sit, he said, shifting on the bench. She sat, politely distant, yet close enough that he felt the warmth of her presence. The crickets chirped softly. The night air smelled of firewood and fresh rain. Amaka looked up at him shyly. You seem troubled. He cleared his throat. I have a lot on my mind. Is it work? She asked softly. Partly. And the other part? He looked at her, really looked, and his heart trembled. I don't know how to explain it. She smiled faintly. It's okay. You don't have to tell me. Her kindness stabbed him gently. The way she listened. The way she cared without asking for anything. The way she simply existed peacefully. It made him feel more seen than any expensive woman in Lagos ever had. He stood abruptly. I should go rest. Amaka stood too. Good night, sir. He walked away without looking back, because he knew if he did, he would not want to leave. As he entered his room, his phone vibrated. A video call from Adana. His heart dropped. He answered. Her flawless face appeared immediately, perfect makeup, long lashes, diamond earrings. Baby, she said brightly. I've been calling you since morning. He forced a smile. Network here is bad. She pouted. Well, hurry back. Daddy wants us to finalize wedding plans. And there's the charity gala next week. You know we need photographs together. Adana, no excuses, she cut in. The paparazzi must see us. He felt a headache forming. Okay, he murmured. Before ending the call, she added sharply. And please stay focused. Don't get distracted by village things. The irony hit him like thunder. As the call ended, he sank onto the bed. Distracted? Yes. But not by village things. By a village girl. And somewhere deep inside he knew. This confusion. This pull. This undeniable feeling. It was the beginning of a war. One that would shake both his heart and his empire. The next morning broke with a soft sunrise spreading over Chibuke village, but Chibuke's chest felt heavy. He had barely slept. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw Amaka's face, her shy smile, her gentle hands, the sincerity she didn't even know she possessed. He had come to visit his mother. Yet he was leaving with a storm inside him. Mama Ozioma was seated outside, warming her legs in the morning sun. Chibuke walked out and greeted her quietly. You did not sleep, Mama observed without looking up. He swallowed. Mama, please. Talk, my son. You know I see through you. He sat slowly beside her. I don't know what to do. Mama chuckled softly. Yes, you know. You're just afraid. He looked away. Mama's tone softened, but it cut deep. Fear has killed more destinies than poverty. Chibuke blew out a breath. Mama, I have a fiancé. You have an arrangement, she corrected. A business contract with a human face. His eyes widened. Mama, I am your mother. I raised you. I know when something is real or fake. That girl in Lagos, Adana, she will make your office proud. She will expand your empire. But she will not give you peace. He ran a hand over his face. Amaka is good, Mama, but she isn't. He struggled for the right words. Elite? Mama asked sharply. Civilized? Educated? Trained for your Lagos boardroom? He winced. Mama. My son, she said gently, you don't need another business partner. You already have plenty. What you need is a woman whose heart understands yours. Her words sank deep. At that moment, Amaka entered the compound carrying fresh vegetables and a basket of tomatoes. Her presence instantly softened the morning air. Good morning, Mama. Good morning, sir, she said, smiling shyly. Chibuke watched her walk, noticing things he had never observed before. Her grace. Her humility. The natural confidence in her simplicity. She was beauty without effort. Strength without noise. Warmth without trying. And every part of him responded involuntarily. Amaka, Mama said proudly, this one you are glowing this morning, who rubbed oil on your face? Mama. Amaka laughed, embarrassed. It's just the sun. Chibuke found himself smiling, genuinely. But when Amaka looked at him, he quickly looked away. He was losing focus. Dangerously. Later that afternoon, he found her sweeping the compound. He had come out to make a call, but seeing her made him stop in his tracks. Let me help you, he said suddenly. Amaka froze. No, sir. You cannot sweep. Why not? She stuttered. You are a man? He teased gently. No. She shook her head quickly. You are a big person. A very big person. He chuckled softly. Is it written on my forehead? She avoided his eyes. I just know. There was a quiet pause between them. A pause that carried warmth. A pause that carried danger. He finally took the broom from her hand. Their fingers brushed. Amaka jumped slightly. Chibuke inhaled sharply. The air thickened. She looked at him shyly. Sir. Let me sweep, he insisted, voice low. She watched in shock as he actually swept. A billionaire sweeping dusty village sand like a small boy. Inside, Mama watched them from the window and smiled mischievously. That evening, as Chibuke sat in the parlor trying to read business reports on his iPad, messages kept flooding in from Lagos. From Madana. Baby, when are you coming back? You're keeping me waiting. From Madana's mother. Remember, your wedding date must be announced before the gala. From Umezulike Group Board Secretary. Sir, the chairman wants a meeting with you next week. It concerns your merger. From his own board chairman. Sir, media is asking about your engagement date. Please respond. Chibuke dropped the iPad and rubbed his temples. His worlds were colliding. Lagos wanted him back. Responsibility wanted him back. Pressure wanted him back. But his heart. Every time he heard Amaka laugh, his chest pulled tighter. Just before dinner, Mama called him to her room. Sit. He obeyed. Mama stared at him long and hard. You are afraid, she said. But love is not for cowards. Mama. You are thinking about your board, the press, Adana's father, the merger, your reputation. He sighed heavily. I have built an empire, Mama. A lot is at risk. And you are ready to marry a woman you don't love just to protect all that? He went silent. Mama leaned closer. Chibuke, listen to me. Wealth is sweet. Respect is sweet. But when you come home at night, when all the boardrooms are closed, when the whole world has stopped calling your phone, it is the woman beside you that becomes your peace or your punishment. His throat tightened. Mama continued. And the one that will give you peace has been cooking for me all this while. He closed his eyes. Amaka is too pure for this world I live in. I don't want to destroy her. Mama smiled gently. My son, pure water remains pure anywhere. Even in Golden Cup. Her words hit him deeply. He tries to distance himself. That night, Chibuke decided to keep some distance. To control himself. To stop this storm before it swallowed him. So when Amaka served his dinner, he didn't meet her eyes. When she asked if he needed more food, he simply shook his head. When she said goodnight, he muttered a quiet response. Amaka walked away slowly, confused and hurt by his sudden coldness. Mama noticed everything. She shook her head. Love is disturbing both of you, she murmured. Around midnight, Chibuke stepped outside to breathe fresh air. He found Amaka sitting under the mango tree, hugging her knees. Her eyes were red, like someone who had been holding back tears. He froze. Amaka? She quickly wiped her face. Sorry, sir. I didn't know you were coming outside. What's wrong? She shook her head. It's nothing. It doesn't look like nothing. She swallowed. You've been avoiding me. His heart skipped. Amaka. Did I offend you? Did I do something wrong? Her voice cracked slightly. Chibuke felt something inside him break. No, he said softly. You didn't do anything. Then why? She whispered. He stepped closer. Their eyes met in the dim moonlight. His voice came out low, conflicted, trembling. Because you make it very hard for me to think straight. Amaka froze. Her breath hitched. Chibuke looked away, shaking his head. I need to go back to Lagos tomorrow. The words stabbed him as he said them. Amaka's face fell slowly. Oh, okay. Safe journey, sir. She stood to leave. Amaka. She stopped, waiting. Chibuke swallowed thickly. Good night. She nodded, voice barely audible. Good night, sir. She walked away. He stood there in the dark, battling a war only love could create. Lagos felt like a golden cage, and every hour inside it made Chibuke's chest grow tighter. Meetings felt meaningless. Calls irritated him. Even the sight of his skyscraper, his pride, made him restless. 2 days after the threats, he made a decision his board would call reckless. He turned off his phone, left his security behind, and boarded a quiet flight back to the east. Back to Omuokoro. Back to her. The village breeze, the peace, the ache. When he stepped out of the car onto the red earth road, the breeze hit him like a forgotten blessing, fresh, gentle, honest. Children ran past chasing tires, a woman roasted corn by the roadside, and old men sat under an udala tree arguing about politics. Nothing had changed. Except him. His feet carried him straight to his mother's house, but before he reached the compound he saw her, Amaka, bent slightly over the garden, watering Mama's vegetables. She wore a simple gown, apron tied around her waist, her hair in a neat bun. Golden evening light touched her cheeks, her skin glowing like polished bronze. For a moment he just stood there, watching the peace she didn't know she radiated. She looked up and gasped, her hand flying to her chest. "Sir, you're back." Her shock was genuine. Her smile, sir. Her voice, soft enough to melt steel. And his heart, gone. Just gone. I came to see Mama, he managed to say, though they both knew that wasn't the full truth. She nodded, wiping her hands on her apron. "Mama is inside. I just finished giving her food." Of course she had. Even when he wasn't around, she cared for his mother like she was family. Like she was wife. Mama knows a love-struck son. Inside, Mama was seated on her cushioned raffia chair, smiling as if she saw this moment coming. "My son," she said, pulling him into a hug. "Your spirit has been far away." He didn't deny it. Mama looked at him long and deep. "Did Lagos give you peace?" "No," he whispered. She nodded knowingly. "And here?" He hesitated, then whispered, "Here. Feels like breathing again." Mama reached for his hand and squeezed it gently. "Love is not for the proud, Chibuke. It is for the brave." He swallowed hard. "Mama, if I choose her, I will lose everything, contracts, partnerships, influence. The Okekes will go after me." Mama laughed softly. "You have billions, my son. But you don't have a home. Which one is truly lost?" Her simplicity cut deeper than any corporate analysis. Then she added the words that sealed his fate. "Any empire built on fear is already shaking. Build yours on love." The walk, the confession, the beginning of war. That evening, he found Amaka sitting under the mango tree plaiting little Chisholm's hair. The sky was orange, villagers walked past greeting her warmly, admiringly. She wasn't just kind. She was beloved. When he approached, she smiled politely and stood. "Sir, hope Mama is better?" "Better now." She nodded shyly. "That's good." But he didn't move. Instead, he said softly, "Amaka, can we talk?" Her eyes widened. She dismissed the child and followed him to a quiet path behind Mama's compound. He took a breath. His heart thudded like a beating drum. "Amaka, ever since I met you, nothing has been the same for me." She froze. Her fingers trembled slightly. "You cared for my mother without knowing who I am. You showed kindness without expectation. You reminded me of the world I come from, the one I forgot because of wealth." She looked down, her lashes fluttering in confusion. "I don't want to lie to you," he continued. "I'm engaged. It's complicated. It's political. It's business. But," he swallowed, "but you are the one I think about." Her lips parted in shock, her breath catching. "Sir, me, but, just, don't ever say just." His voice was firm. "You are enough. More than enough." Tears filled her eyes, confusion overwhelming her innocence. "Sir, I don't want to cause trouble. I don't want to be the reason your family or your business suffers." He stepped closer, gently lifting her chin. "You are the reason I breathe again." Her breath hitched. Silence stretched between them, warm, trembling, dangerous. Then she whispered the truth she had been hiding without even knowing it. I think about you too." It hit him like lightning. He had made his decision. The decision that shakes Nigeria. The next morning, before the sun fully rose, he typed a message that would trend, shock, and shake the entire business world. "Wedding with Adana Okeke is cancelled. This decision is final. I choose my personal happiness over business politics." Then he turned off his phone. Because he knew what would come next. The Okeke's wrath. The board's anger. Media war. Public backlash. But he also knew this. He was done living for expectations. He was choosing love. He was choosing her. And Nigeria was about to explode. The message hit Lagos like thunder. By 6:03 a.m., the first headline dropped. "Breaking. Billionaire Chibuke cancels wedding to Adana Okeke. Sources claim village girl behind it." By 6:18 a.m., the hashtags were trending. Hashtag damage to the brand, hashtag village girl scandal, hashtag Okeke war, hashtag Z-Tech crisis, hashtag who is Amaka? By 7 a.m., reporters camped outside his company headquarters, and by 9 a.m., major business networks were carrying live discussions about the fall of a billionaire. But Chibuke wasn't in Lagos to watch the chaos. He was still in Umuokoro, sitting under the mango tree with Mama, drinking fresh palm wine and breathing for the first time in years. Peace. Real peace. Meanwhile, Lagos was burning. On TV, analysts talked with dramatic seriousness. Why would a billionaire destroy a multi-million-dollar merger for a girl from the village? This is unprecedented, an emotional decision that shows gross irresponsibility. Our sources say the girl is uneducated. Is she trying to trap him? One presenter laughed mockingly. Imagine losing Adana Okekes, Harvard graduate, beauty, brains, billionaire pedigree, for someone who still ties rapper. The audience clapped. Online the comments were brutal. Village girls always have a plan. She jazzed him, no doubt. His mother must be behind it. She will ruin the empire. He is finished. But the worst attack came when Amaka's picture leaked. A simple photo of her smiling beside Mama's garden. They turned her smile into mockery. Her innocence into scandal. Her life into entertainment. Amaka, still in the village, had no idea. Not yet. At Ztech Holdings, the board held an emergency meeting, without him. The tension was thick. This is unacceptable. One director barked. He canceled the merger. Do you know how insane that is? He is compromising the company's future, another hissed. The chairman slammed the table. If he wants to destroy himself, fine, but we will not let him destroy Ztech. They drafted a letter. A vote of no confidence. A push to suspend him as CEO. A demand for immediate explanation. They planned to ambush him when he returned. While the board prepared legal fire, the Okekes unleashed political and financial thunder. Adana sat on a suede couch in their Ikoyi mansion, crying dramatically, while her mother fanned her and her father paced in fury. Chief Okekes' voice was cold enough to freeze blood. So he wants war? You will get war. He made 20 phone calls in 30 minutes. Government contacts, media owners, bank executives, foreign partners, political allies. Within hours, one of Chibuke's major project permits was suspended. Negotiations with an international investor froze. One old loan was suddenly recalled. And a news channel aired a full segment painting him as unstable and reckless. The Okekes were not playing. They wanted him begging. They wanted him broken. They wanted him back at their feet. Back in the village, Amaka was chopping vegetables in Mama's kitchen when two young boys ran up to the window. Auntie Amaka. Auntie Amaka. We saw you on TV. She laughed. Me? On TV? Stop joking. But they insisted. Your picture was there. They're talking about you. Saying you took our brother Billionaire. Her knife slipped from her fingers. Her heart froze. Mama. She called, voice shaking. Mama came running, and together they walked to a neighbor's house where a small plasma TV hung on the wall. The headline slapped her in the face. Meet the girl who broke the Billionaire merger. Her picture filled the screen. Her simple dress. Wrapper tied. Hair packed. No makeup. No jewelry. The reporter's voice oozed with mockery. She lives in a remote village. No university education. Certainly not a match for the elite world of billionaires. Amaka's hands trembled violently. Mama placed an arm around her, but she could feel the girl's heart breaking. Voices outside grew louder. She is the girl. The billionaire canceled wedding because of her. Chai. Village get power. Amaka couldn't breathe. I didn't do anything, she whispered. I didn't ask him for anything. I didn't. Her knees buckled. Mama caught her. When he finally returned to the compound, villagers had gathered outside. Whispering. Staring. Pointing. Mama rushed to him. Your phone. Turn it on. The world is shaking. He turned it on. The screen exploded with notifications. 1,200 messages. 500 missed calls. 200 bored emails. Threats. Headlines. Videos. Insults. Warnings. Legal letters. But he ignored them all and ran straight to find Amaka. He found her sitting on the floor of Mama's kitchen, holding her wrapper tightly like a shield, eyes swollen, breathing shallowly. She looked up at him with heartbreak and fear. Why? Why did you come into my life? She whispered. Why didn't you just leave me the way you found me? Now they're saying things. Terrible things. They're attacking you, attacking me, attacking Mama. Her tears fell like rain. I don't belong in your world, sir. I don't fit. They will destroy you because of me. Please, please leave me alone before everything collapses. Her voice broke on the last word. He knelt in front of her, cupping her face gently. Everything can collapse, he whispered fiercely. But not us. She sobbed harder. He pulled her into his arms. Outside, the villagers watched. Inside, a storm raged. Because this was only the beginning. Nigeria had declared war. And he was ready to fight every single one of them. For her. The sun rose over Lagos like molten gold, reflecting off the glass towers and high-rise buildings of Victoria Island. But the heat, the lights, and the chaos of the city felt insignificant compared to the storm he was about to face. Chibuke stepped out of his matte black Rolls-Royce, hand firmly holding Amaka's. She had dressed simply yet elegantly in a cream blouse and ankle-length skirt, her hair neatly braided, her eyes wide but steady. For a moment she hesitated, overwhelmed by the sheer force of the media waiting for them. "Are you sure?" she whispered. "I am sure," Chibuke replied, voice calm but unwavering. "It's time the world saw the truth." The flashing cameras erupted into life, microphones shoved forward, and journalists shouted questions in a wave of chaos. "Sir, is it true you canceled your engagement to Adana Okeke for this woman? Who is she? What does she do? Do you realize the damage you've caused to your company? Are you making a publicity stunt?" Chibuke lifted a hand, commanding silence with effortless authority. The reporters froze, sensing the gravity of the moment. "Good morning," he said. His voice echoed, calm yet firm. "My name is Chibuke Okonkwo, CEO of ZTech Holdings. And this is Amaka, the woman I have chosen to spend my life with." A collective gasp rose from the crowd. Cameras flashed relentlessly. The air vibrated with the magnitude of what he was saying. "Yes," Chibuke continued, taking a steady breath. "I canceled my engagement to Adana Okeke, not for wealth, power, or prestige, but because I chose love. I chose a woman whose heart is stronger than any fortune or title. A woman whose kindness and courage remind me of the humanity I almost lost in the city." Amaka's hands trembled slightly as she held his. For the first time she saw the man she had quietly fallen for, not just as a billionaire, but as someone willing to defy the world for what he loved. Later that day, Chibuke called an emergency board meeting. The boardroom was a sleek masterpiece of modern Nigerian luxury design. Marble floors, floor-to-ceiling glass walls with panoramic views of Lagos, walnut tables with brushed gold inlays, and LED panels displaying livestock charts. The room hummed with tension as directors sat, arms crossed, eyes sharp, waiting for him to falter. "Chibuke," the chairman began, "this decision is reckless. You've jeopardized the merger, the investors, the company's credibility." Chibuke leaned forward, hands firmly planted on the polished walnut table, voice calm but sharp. "The board handles operations. I handle my life. And my life includes Amaka." A director scoffed. "She has no business experience, no education in management. How can she?" Chibuke cut him off coldly. "Experience without integrity is worthless. Amaka has something far more valuable: wisdom, empathy, and courage. Everything else, strategy, investors, mergers, I will handle. But she is the woman who will protect my home and heart. That is non-negotiable." The boardroom fell silent. For the first time they saw not just a CEO, but a man whose decisions were rooted in principle, not profit. Meanwhile, the Okekes, hearing of the public appearance, launched their fury in full force. Adana's father, Chief Okeke, and mother, Mrs. Okeke, stormed into Lagos International Business Club expecting to confront Chibuke. But they were met by him, calm, poised, standing tall beside Amaka, who now looked both dignified and unshakable. Chief Okeke's voice was like thunder. "You dare defy us? Do you know what you've done to our plans, our reputation, our influence?" Chibuke's gaze met his unwaveringly. "I know exactly what I've done, Chief. I chose love over fear. I chose truth over convenience. I chose a woman whose heart is worth more than your fortune." Amaka, standing beside him, found her courage. "I didn't ask for this, Chief Okeke. I only love Chibuke for who he is, not what he owns. I did not seek to disrupt your plans, but I will not apologize for honesty and love." A hush fell over the room. Even Chief Okeke, the iron-willed mogul, realized the fight was not with money, but with a principle he could not bend. By evening, the entire nation was talking. Headlines splashed across TV screens and online platforms. Billionaire chooses love over business empire. Village girl turns Lagos mogul into devoted husband. Amaka, heart and genius behind Chibuke's success. Public opinion slowly shifted. Admiration and awe replaced ridicule. Social media celebrated courage over tradition, sincerity over strategy, and love over politics. Chibuke returned to his penthouse with Amaka by his side. Floor-to-ceiling windows showcased Lagos' glittering skyline, but tonight he barely noticed. "You did it," Amaka whispered, still trembling from the confrontation. "We did it," Chibuke corrected, smiling. "And now the real work begins. Not just for the empire but for our life together." He pulled her close. Outside, the city buzzed with whispers and speculation. But inside their penthouse, the world was small, warm, and safe. The war was over. The battlefield now lay in hearts, not headlines. And Nigeria watched, stunned, as the billionaire and the village girl reshaped the very meaning of power, love, and courage.